So today, I'm going to show you how to hit the knockdown shot in the gusty winds that the players face in Amen Corner. Hole number 12 is one of the most famous short par 3s in the entire world, and it perplexes players every single year and inevitably causes carnage for players year in and year out. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to demonstrate to you my standard 8-iron shot, how that flies in the air, how high it goes, how far it carries, and the total distance it generally goes. And then I'm going to demonstrate to you how to hit the knockdown shot that you see player after player hitting on hole number 12 to try to keep the ball underneath the trees and out of that really nasty swirling wind. So here's my standard 8-iron shot. I play the ball right in the middle of my stance. And I usually hit the ball pretty straight with maybe a little right to left shape onto it, but let's just see what my stock height, carry, and total distance is with my 8-iron. Okay, again, a little bit more draw than maybe I would normally see, but a 160 carry for 164, 126 feet high. Pretty normal for me, especially this time of the year when I'm not quite in my mid-season form. So the knockdown shot, we can play this from any location on the golf course. When it's windy, it's a very valuable one to keep nice and low if you're just trying to run something out there or you're trying to combat really challenging wind conditions. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to play the ball a little bit back in our stance. And when we knock it down, we got to change our setup a little bit. So here's my standard 8-iron position, which is right in the middle of my stance. To hit the knockdown shot, we play the ball a little bit more back in our stance, and you'll see as I maneuver it back in my stance, and I take my grip, you'll see how the club face de-lofts. I have the hands in the same position where I always have them, but because the ball positions move backwards, now closer to my right heel, the face becomes less lofted, which is one of the key components in knocking the ball down and keeping that flight under the wind. My hand position still remains the same, just on the inside of my left thigh here. And when I swing through, unlike my stock shot, which you can see left the screen, on the knockdown shot, if I want the trajectory to be low, then I want my finish to be low. It's a very good rule of thumb for trajectory's sake that if you're trying to hit it high, you deliver with a nice high finish. And if you want to hit it low, you come through with a nice little low finish where your arms are a little bit more quiet and we're keeping the ball down out of the sky. So once again, the ball is going to be a little bit back in my stance. Shaft's in the same position, which really takes loft off of it. And I'm going to hit a little knockdown shot here where I take the ball out of the sky. And there's the shot. Now what you see here is pretty interesting. Number one, I hit it over 20 feet lower out of the sky than my stock shot, but I actually hit this one a little bit further. And I hit it further because the ball position was back, and when the ball position is back, the loft becomes less. Again, this is one of the reasons why players do this into the wind, because it allows them to take a little less club and still push it downfield a little further and keep it out of the wind or the elements that are in play. If I was to shrink my swing even more, that flight would continue to drop. So depending on the yardage I would be playing that at, I could have this ball well under 100 feet high, and that would work perfectly in Amen Corner. So I hope this knockdown shot can help you in your game. And if it does, I'd like for you to send me a comment and tell me just how well it worked. I appreciate you all tuning in. We'll see you next week.